One of the things we don't realize when we decide we want to leave a relationship is that breakups are not black and white. Now, we've been conditioned via society, movies, books, that when you break up with someone, most likely it's because either you fell out of in love with them, you stopped loving them anymore, you found someone else, or the romance has fizzled out. But many people that are in abusive relationships and want to leave realize that they want to break up, but that's not because they stopped loving the person. They want to leave not because they don't love the person, but because they love themselves more. Which sounds kind of corny, but that's the truth. And that is the hardest type of breakup, because one part of you is like, why can this not work? Why does this person have to act this way? Why can't we just move past it? And the other part is thinking, well, obviously there must be something better out there. There's like a little sliver of hope. You see other couples out there and you're like, okay, why can't I have that? Why can't I find that? So it's two very contradictory feelings that are going on at that moment. And all the while you're thinking, but I still love that person. So how do you leave a relationship? How do you leave someone who is gaslighting you? How do you leave a relationship that is abusive and toxic when you still love the person? Where is the fine line between fighting for that relationship and admitting that it's over, admitting that the person is not going to change, the abuse is still going to happen whether you say something or not, and it's time to leave. So I want to do this video for you guys today on how to leave someone you love that is gaslighting you. Also, stick with me to the end of this video, because I'm going to reveal to you basically my mantra, the phrase that you should ask yourself every time you're in a relationship, to see whether you are an abusive one or if you are in a healthy one. And I'll explain why this question is so important and the whole mentality behind it. First of all, welcome back. For anyone that's new to my channel, welcome to the G-Spot, aka the gaslighting spot. This is a safe place where we talk about gaslighting, the emotions, the thoughts, the feelings. We find common ground. If you don't have no idea who I am, my name's Olympia, and with my studies in cognitive neuroscience and art history, what I like to do, I like to dissect that pretty little brain of yours to see what makes you tick, but also what makes you talk. So help a girl out by smashing that subscribe button and ringing that bell for your weekly Thursday videos. And let's start. Let's see who left the gaslight on. So one of the things you can do when you're considering leaving that person is put down the moments that you love with them. This sounds a bit contradictory, but put down the moments that you love with them and put down the moments that made you basically question whether you want to exist or not. Moments that made you cry at night. Moments that haunt you, basically remind you of that moment, if that makes any sense. A traumatic event that happened that keeps popping into your mind. That will fuel your G-force and your G-spotting abilities, aka your gaslighting abilities, to understand whether you should, first of all, be leaving this relationship, and second of all, give you the fuel to leave the person to begin with. So my mom taught me this phrase, which ironically I kind of used the other way around than it was meant to be. The phrase is, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? Now, in healthy relationships, this phrase works great, because it basically reminds you that sometimes you have to let things go. Sometimes you have to learn how to compromise. It reminds you that it's not always important to prove to your partner that you're right, to create an entire argument on how they are wrong, make your partner feel less. I'm a part of quite a few Facebook groups because I believe it's a wonderful way to find common experiences. By the way, if you haven't already, make sure to join my Facebook group, the G-Spot, aka the Gaslighting Spot. But I see a lot of times in these groups people that are going to extreme lengths in order to prove to their partner that what they're saying is true. So for example, I've read stories that they've hacked their phone, or that they've gone through their messages, or that they followed them when they went places, all because they want to prove that, for example, they're speaking with someone that they're claiming they're not speaking to, that they were at a place that they're claiming that they weren't, And I am the queen of screenshots, where I would screenshot a conversation just to prove to the other person that what they said, which they're denying that they're saying it, but they actually said it. And like, here's a screenshot, here's to prove it. The problem is that if you're doing that, you've already lost. One of the reasons that's keeping you from leaving a relationship usually is that you have this need to be right. You have this need to prove that whatever the person is accusing you of is not really happening. That you have proof, either emails, texts, stalker phones, stalkers that you've hired themselves, anything to prove that what you are saying, that your point of view is right. But the question is, does that make you happy? After you've gone through all of this, after you've managed to get all the data together, is it for you or is it for them? So all this documentation, whether it's screenshots, emails, whatever, those are your puzzle pieces. Those are the pieces that you're supposed to use in order to piece together your sanity. It is not to prove to the person that what they're doing is wrong. They already know what they're doing is wrong. They don't care. Most likely they're employing these tactics as a way to control you. So by you just showing them a screenshot or pointing out what for them is the obvious, they're just going to lash out with more vindictive and much more hurtful ways. They will either call you names, or they'll manipulate the situation and make you question whether you're even further crazy, or will guilt trip you. So these are the moments you have to kind of hang on and remember when you're about to leave a person that you love. So I've used the mantra that my mother taught me, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy, as my compass of whether or not I'm in an abusive relationship and also whether I'm happy in a relationship. This phrase has kind of been fueled my G-force, or my gaslighting abilities, my G-spotting abilities. Try and think of all the things that you used to like to do that you no longer do, and try and pinpoint why you stopped doing them. Was it because you didn't have time? Was it because your partner or the person that is gaslighting you doesn't like to do those things? Is it because they think they're stupid or immature, or maybe they're too girlish or too mannish, according to what your partner's sex is? Was it because they just didn't feel like doing it and they preferred to do what they wanted? And try and put a list together and see everything that you've sacrificed for that person, everything that you've stopped doing because you've been wanting to please that person, because that person has affected you in a way that has prevented you from stop doing what you really want to do. That can help also not only fuel your decision of leaving the person you love, but also helping you once you've left that person, you have a ready list of things that you need to get back to, things that you need to experiment on. Whether you still like comedies, whether you still like Chinese food, whether you still like having a dog, or just stuff that basically were a part of you before you were with that person. And many times you'll see that you don't actually like those stuff, and then you'll freak out because then you're thinking, oh my god, now he's really gotten into my mind, or she's really made me change my decisions in life. No, that's fine. That's human. The fact that you're questioning whether you like something or not, that just could mean that you've changed your mind or you've changed your taste. But sometimes you'll find that you actually find joy in this, and that you sacrifice that joy because of the person you're with. And that, again, those little puzzle pieces will help you in your decision to leave the person. So bottom line, it's hard. Leaving a person that you love, and especially a person that is gaslighting you, is kind of like leaving a part of yourself behind. The thing with gaslighting is that you are so enmeshed in that person's life that when you decide to leave, you're not only leaving their life, but you're leaving your life. You've allowed yourself to mold into what they wanted and be who they wanted and have friends that they've chosen for you. That when you leave, you not only lose a romantic partner, you lose friends, you lose their family, who you may consider your family, you lose who you had become with them. So it's kind of losing a big chunk part of yourself, and that makes you feel hollow and shallow inside. And you even feel that sometimes you are faking it, the whole fake it until you make it. But this is applying right now to your existence, because you don't know who you are after you've left that person, and that idea terrifies you, and that idea also is sometimes what keeps you stuck in a relationship when you should honestly have already left. Remember, choosing yourself is not selfish. I know I sound like a fortune cookie, but at the end of the day, we are born into this world alone, and we will die alone. So if you're going to form a relationship with someone, it better be with yourself. But it sounded kind of dirty, hence the G-spot. But if you allow that person to completely control you and control your life, then that fear that you will be nothing just increases as the years pass. Because suddenly your life becomes much more their life, that after 30, 40, 50, 60 years, if you decide to leave, it gets even harder and harder. Not impossible, it just gets harder because you've lost yourself for those many years. So just remember that, first of all, you're not alone. And it is also one of the hardest breakups to do, because you are doing the breakup for yourself, but also for them, because what you have is toxic. You're choosing yourself, and that person's probably going to make you feel guilty. They're probably going to call you names such as being selfish. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is your mental well-being and your peace of mind. And when you find a healthier relationship, a more stable relationship, you will see that. You will see how much that person affected you, and you will see how much you've lost yourself. And it takes time to find yourself again, and that's fine. Again, I keep emphasizing that is fine. So I hope this video helped you out a bit. It's not an easy decision. I've done a video on can you fall in love again after being gaslighted, which I think is very much connected to how can I leave someone I love, because you believe that after you leave them that you will never find love again, or that you'll never be able to, or that you will never allow yourself to feel like that again. Anyways, if you haven't already, make sure to smash the subscribe button and ring that bell for your weekly Thursday videos. And of course, share this video with anyone who needs some help leaving someone they love who is gaslighting them. And that's it, folks.